You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, Geek.Nerd.Tech, featuring a weekly roundup of tech news and gossip. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Geek.Nerd.Tech.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got that funk coming in, brother. That's so
welcome to Geek.Nerd.Tech. Oh, Little Brothers Johnson.
Oh, yeah. It's the jam right here, man.
This is the jam. Welcome to Geek.Nerd.Tech, the show where we break down nerd culture, tech news from a black and brown geek perspective.
Yes, we do.
I'm Joe Braswell. I'm joined as always by my man, Achilles Shine.
Achilles Shine. I am
sir?
in the building, man. We are in the building. We're good, man. How you feeling? How you living?
I'm feeling fantastic. Little Brothers Johnson, Strawberry Letter 23.
Yeah, man.
From family of and friends of ours.
Yeah.
Brothers Johnson.
Yeah,
so yeah, man, it's like
here it comes.
it's like G&T nights.
Yeah,
It's like G&T after dark.
Yeah, typically we do the show in the morning, man.
Yes.
We in the late night right now. Huh?
We're late night right now for us, but it's wonderful. We have lots to talk about, of course. We want to get into I want to get into Star Wars Celebration.
Okay.
With a new Star Wars trailer drop. I also spent 2 weekends at Coachella.
Man.
How'd that happen?
Man, you must have been doing excellent.
I mean, I spent 1 full weekend the previous weekend.
Yes, sir.
And then, we got some tech news to talk about as well. So let's get into all that. But first, I want to talk about Google Fi. Google Fi is coming, baby.
Oh,
it's
man,
coming.
you're
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm definitely ready, man.
Project Fi.
Project Fi.
Right, Project Fi, which is basically Google's answer for a mobile network. It's they're supporting this big initiative to basically re-fiber optic everything up.
Yeah.
Just kind of like AT&T did for AT&T Uverse.
Yeah.
And create this network that will be sort of ubiquitous and be able to have all phones sort of bounce from network to network on the same fiber optic. Is it?
Essentially, it's trying to do what broadband has done for, like how Google Fiber has taken over broadband. They're trying to do the same thing for like Wi-Fi and all your mobile networks. Right. So essentially, like when you are at home, you're usually on a Wi-Fi network.
Yes, you are.
And then when you leave your home, you're usually on your 3G or 4G. And so it's trying to come up with a way to make that transition automatic and more fluid.
Right.
And I think, establishing that, incorporating that with this new infrastructure, I think is going to be amazing in terms of the efficiency that we'll be able to have access to with our devices.
Well, we all want Wi-Fi out in the world. And,
Yeah.
we can all bounce from coffee shop to coffee shop or location to location. Almost the 2016 and 16 cars will have Wi-Fi enabled.
Yep.
So, public transportation has Wi-Fi these days. So we're getting there, but Google wants it to be sort of everywhere.
Everywhere.
We know our network has always been behind Europe. We've always been behind what Europe does, especially what Asia, specifically Japan. Like
China. You got to throw China in there.
I mean, China. Japan and China have been on video conferencing for a cool minute.
Seriously.
We don't have those
Since we've seen it in movies.
Yeah. So we don't have those capabilities. So I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's Google.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. It's supposed to launch on April 22nd. That's like this week.
Yeah.
This goes on Saturday. So that's what launching this week. We're pre-taping this. This will go up on Friday, but yeah, man, that's here. I don't know. I know Sprint and T-Mobile are going to try it first, and we'll kind of go from there. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think that it's cool. I think that anything that will promote or engage people to have faster services, I think it's a good thing because we are all kind of dependent on our devices. And so, you want the fastest connection. You don't want to be in a place where, hey, stuff is not working or downloading or all of the above. So you want to be able to have the best access at all times. And so that's what Google's trying to do, especially with their expansion tactics all over the world. This is just kind of like a key element before they engage in like other areas of the world where they don't have internet access.
Right.
So
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes. Whatever. But Facebook also is coming onto the scene with Facebook Hello.
yeah, I don't know about this. Man. What was your take on this?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure I quite understand it. I mean, it is as far as I understand it, it is like it allows you to like it's I don't think I understand it.
Okay, so
I don't understand it.
my take on it, it's reinventing the dialer. Right. So when you have a contact, typically you dial the phone number. Right. So what Facebook is trying to do is create a system where your phones will sync and it'll recognize the contact and you don't have to dial it.
That's what I thought it was.
And all the information is essentially there for you. And the searchability aspect. Yeah, I'm out too. The searchability aspect is actually cool though. Like if you wanted to search for just contacts in Chicago, you could just do that Chicago, but when all the contacts will come up based on what people are put in their profiles, information they put in their profile on Facebook. So I mean, I think that's kind of sophisticated in that sense. But I mean, I don't really care about that. Like,
well, what concerns me about it now that I do, I'm sorry, I'm now understanding, and I did understand what I didn't like about this. What I don't like about this is it just the Facebook dependency is ramping right up. I mean, Facebook wants to keep you on Facebook, and wherever Facebook's not, Facebook will come to you and find you. Like, Facebook toilet.
But why is that bad?
You want to flush? Log into Facebook first. Flush.
Tell me why that's bad, though. Huh? Tell me why that's bad.
For Facebook, it's fantastic. For me, I'm not cool on Facebook. I don't need Facebook to like be all in my shit everywhere I go. I mean, literally, Facebook flush. Sorry, but I'm not really into it.
I got you.
But I think as well, let's just speak for it as a technology. I think as a technology, what be a billion plus users. Yeah. Facebook is super ubiquitous, if you will. It's everywhere, right?
It is everywhere.
So Facebook, I mean, it's integrated into most smartphones. Yeah. Most apps you use ask you to integrate Facebook into your apps. Right. Facebook is, whether you like it or not, even me, is a part of your life, whether you like it or not. I always opt out of the things that make you sign into Facebook to be part of them. But so this is just one thing, if you're using your smartphone to utilize all your Facebook contacts. I just don't like the reverse of it. Whenever somebody asks me to utilize all my Facebook contacts, I just feel like they're in all my contacts. They're sending out to my contacts a bunch of crap I don't want them to be sent from me.
But I mean, think about the pluses though. Think about having all your contacts organized. Like honestly, in my contacts, there's so many like duplicates or so many contacts that don't have all the information. Or I get a new number. I'm like, who the hell is this?
There's software for that, bro.
Of course there is. Of course for the software for the dupes. But I'm talking about the organization of it. Or like if I'm searching for a content that I don't remember the name fully, but I remember maybe where I met them. Like that's cool. That's a cool feature to be able to have that, be able to implement that. Okay. So, I mean,
I just Facebook will continue to come up with a bunch of cool technology, whether or not it's a weird thing. Like I applaud Facebook for their R&D and the technology they're coming with. I don't know that I want to use Facebook to do it.
No, I agree with you.
It's one of these things. So it's like, in order to be involved in Facebook technology, you have to really be a part of Facebook. And at a certain point, I wonder what that. I know what that means now. I know what it meant 3 years ago. I know what it means now, and it scares me. What is that going to mean 5 years from now? You want to drive this road, or are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
But that's not just Facebook.
You can't turn left.
We can't.
Like, I don't know.
We can't say, or we cannot say that that's just Facebook. That's pretty much all these tech companies. You're in the Google universe. You're in the Snapchat universe, or you're in the Twitter universe. Like that's the whole point, to keep you in their ecosystem, to keep your time and your attention in there. So I can't fault them for that. I think that's smart. Like and leave it up to the user to decide which ecosystem they want to live in.
I understand that, but Facebook is becoming an ecosystem where other ecosystems live inside of. So it's becoming the ecosystem, and it's scaring me. That's all.
I got you.
That's all. All right. So we talked a lot of ballyhoo about Jeff Bezos
Yeah,
trying to buy the post office, and Jeff Bezos, using drones
to
for
ship
Amazon.
packages. Yeah,
Well, it looks like the United States Postal Service, the USPS, is looking into the drone situation themselves. They're like,
This
F
is
you,
retarded.
Bezos.
Nah, this is stupid.
No?
This is stupid.
The
man.
octocopter.
I mean, the octocopter is real.
I know.
Like, that's real. I mean, it's interesting that that story came up this week in terms of like drone usage and I guess the infiltration of drone into into society. But I don't think that this is going to pass for the U.S. Post Office. I mean, they're having a hard time. They've had a hard time staying alive, and so I think to use a tactic like this, I mean, it's not going to work. It didn't work for Bezos. Why would it work for them? Legally, you know what I'm saying? Like.
I think it feels like a PR. I hate to say it, but it feels like a PR stunt, right? It feels like
sure.
it feels like a weird PR press
It
release.
doesn't seem like it's real.
It
I mean, it might be, but it doesn't seem like
I'm sure they're testing, but it feels like a press release. Like, don't count us out now.
Right.
We're about to use drones.
But I will say, in theory, like the concept is solid. Like, I mean, if there's a way to regulate it, of course, it would be solid. But I don't see what way that would be. Like, where you have hundreds or thousands of drones in the sky at one time delivering packages to people. Like, I mean, I can just see that as a train wreck. But the feasibility of it, like, it's a cool concept.
Well, the difference is we're talking. It's the United States Postal Service, it's a government agency. So, I mean, theoretically, the wheels are greased in terms of FAA regulations in terms of, governmental approval. Right. It's a government agency. Right. The wheels are greased. They can probably get this thing approved. Like only the post office can do this. Right. Jeff Bezos, sorry. So that's kind of the thing. Like the only drones you see in the air are government drones.
I don't see how the people of this country would go for that. Right. Whatever representative that you have in office that is going to fight for that bill, I don't see that going through.
I just feel like that. I think the idea is that people respect mail carriers and respect the institution of the post office.
They do?
And sure. I mean, there's a lot from the Pony Express and through rail through rain, sleet, and through my time. Yeah, the Pony Express. my prom. I took my prom date to the prom with Pony Express. No, but like through rain, snow, sleet, or hail, or whatever it is. So the idea is like respect our drones. We're delivering your mail through rain, snow. Don't throw rocks at our drones. Hey. We're delivering packages. No,
I'm not with it, man.
Well, there's also security issues we have to worry about. Like, I mean, if you're carrying a very expensive secure package, like you flying that through the hood, like I don't know.
I mean, I like the concept. I mean, I think we're a decade away from that, to be honest.
A decade?
For it being like seriously like the institution of it seriously being put in society. Like okay. I don't see it happening.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. What about back to Facebook? We talked a lot about Facebook and their drone army. They've acquired that drone company who does these full size military grade, like giant 747 size drones.
747 size?
Some of them are or 737. Some of them are like full commercial airline size drones. Right. These aren't just like little drones. These are like full commercial airline size drones that can fly for hours and hours and days, right? It can be up in the air for days for the purpose of being able to deliver internet to allegedly for the purpose of being able to deliver internet to underserved nations and cities and countries. There's a big article talking about how this is done, and it's through laser, which was cool, right?
Well, they're using this. Actually, it's a brother that's using infrared laser and microwave technology to be able to, I guess, give access to the internet, to give access of the internet to people that don't have it. And so, he's creating these solar powered drones, which I think is pretty inventive in the sense that obviously it's powered by the sun, and it can fly or stay in the air and hover for a long extended period of time. And it's kind of like the concept they already have with the hot air balloon thing, where they have these satellites put up in remote areas where they can be able to have internet provided for people that might be in like a remote village or in a mountain village. And so I think it's smart in that sense to be able to connect people everywhere. And obviously for Facebook, the more people that have access to the internet, more people are going to be on Facebook. The more people are on Facebook, the more ad opportunities there are. So, I mean, in terms of their expansion policy tactics, I think it's smart because I do believe, I do posit that the world should have access to the internet.
Sure.
And so, I mean, if it means putting these balloons or these drones to give them the access, I'm for it. You know what I mean? I put it like that. I'm for it.
Fair enough. I just picture Zuckerberg in some weird like control center, like looking at some gigantic like 40-foot screen with like 700 drones in the air, and him like sipping a cup of coffee, laughing.
Hey.
I don't know.
Mad scientist style. Like, I mean, the fact that he even asked the question, "How can I bring the internet to every person on the planet?"
Right.
And
not how can I acquire like 300 like commercial military grade drones.
Hey, I mean, but this is not Zuckerberg. These are like new graduated students from like MIT coming up with this
Sure.
stuff. So I mean, obviously it's under the guise of Zuckerberg and being that he's the founder and owner. But I feel like, I mean, you have to be inventive and you have to adapt and innovate. And this is innovation. I mean, is Facebook supposed to say, well, if you already have 3 billion people, we're going to stop. No more people. Like, we have to expand. And this is a good way to expand. Because people deserve to have access to information. And if this is a way to provide it, hey, like I said, sign me up.
The question that no one seems to be asking, and that I constantly want to ask is, I know it's like these are the things that the problems I have with these sort of the giant companies, the Amazons and the Facebooks and the Googles of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like at one point in the universe, or at one point in the hopefully not too near future, what if Facebook is for sale? Mm-hmm. What if Facebook what if I'm not going to get political, but like let's say the Koch brothers decide they want to buy Facebook and all of its assets. Yeah. You know, I mean, and all of the information of all these people and all of the drones flying over the air and all of this stuff. Like it's one thing if you trust that Zuckerberg is owning Facebook and he has all this information, he's working for the power of good, or Google, who has all of this information and all of this data and all of these Gmail accounts and everything else. You know, their edict is do no evil or don't do evil, whatever it is.
Right.
What if someone buys them? What if someone buys out Bezos? What if someone buys out Facebook? What if some crazy number
Russian
one, Bond villain?
It's not going to be a someone. It's not going to be a someone. It's going to be a group of people. I don't think there's any one person that has the banking to do that.
Where's the Bond villain who's going to come and buy the spot out?
That person doesn't exist.
Right.
There might be a council of Bond villains that might do that.
Right.
There might be a dozen of them.
I mean, maybe I watched too many movies, but it's just.
But I get what
the
you're
idea
saying.
Of these private companies who control so much information of our information, and that it's really something really like.
I mean, how is it different than the government?
It's a government, not a private company. Okay. That's the difference for me.
Okay, but the government is supposed to serve the people, right? And oftentimes it doesn't.
Well, I mean, look, we can get into like a conversation about government and anti-government and federal versus privatism and all of this stuff at the time. But for me, like if you just follow the premise of like the government is here to serve the people, private companies are here to serve to make profits, like that's concern. That's all. That's all. Just on face value.
Hey, but you have a choice. You have a choice to not be on Facebook. You can delete the app for your phone. Delete the app from your phone right now. Never go on it again. You make that choice. You sign those terms and services. The terms of agreement. You sign that.
Very true.
So I mean, you make the decision to be able to have your information tracked and used and sold for whatever purpose.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you about this YouTube situation, because YouTube is finally changing they're getting rid of the API version 2, and that means any smartphone or anything manufactured before 2013 probably won't be able to play YouTube anymore.
Not probably. It will not.
Will not.
It will
be
not
able to
work.
play YouTube.
It will
not work.
Yeah, the only solution that will work is if say for instance you have a smart TV that was made in 2012. Yeah, it's not going to work with YouTube. So the only
I know a lot of folks with old TVs and a lot of folks with old Blu-ray players. I sure as hell know a lot of folks with iPhone 4s.
You buy
and iPhone 5s.
You buy you a streaming box and you're fine. It's an easy solution. You buy you a streaming box like a Xbox or like Apple TV or a Chromecast, and hey,
Sure.
you have the app.
What
and
about
you're
the
good.
folks who are rocking cracked iPhone 4s and iPhone 5s and like that's
Well, iPhone 4 and 5, you're still good. You're still good.
really, but iPhone 4 is not that's an old joint.
It's older than 2012.
Older than 2013. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. iPhone 4, sure,
Yeah. I mean,
it's over.
it's over.
Okay.
I mean, just like if you have an iPhone 4 now, like it's over for you. Period.
It's over.
Like,
You can't do anything anyway.
Like Apple's gonna force you out anyway
Yeah.
with their new operating system. Like
Yeah.
half your stuff isn't gonna work. You're not gonna have enough space.
Apple
Like,
only sells. I think they only sell 5S's 16 gig now. Anyway, they're trying to. So if you're trying to buy a new phone, you can buy a really cheap $99 16 gig phone, or you can buy the 6,
yeah.
or you can shut up.
And also if you do have the iPhone 4 and hey, you can just still go on it online like through Safari. You don't have to use the app to go onto YouTube. So you still have another option to utilize YouTube aside from the app.
Right. All right. Fair enough.
I mean, all apps are gonna improve and have updates, and so I mean, I just think this is normal. This is a part of being an app company.
Sure.
So
So the Uber co-founder has a new app and a new situation called Operator.
yes, indeed. Smooth operator.
Operator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what so Operator is? I'm trying to understand this. This is sort of like it's sort of like what's the thing that you what's the thing that you do driving around? Postmates. It's like Postmates meets I don't know what, but it's a situation where you can have a live person
Yeah.
go out and do your shopping for you, or you can still. I guess it's a situation where you can.
Let me explain how it works.
Yeah, please
so,
do.
So,
I'm always effing it up.
say you are a shoe aficionado and you want the newest pair of Jordans, whatever.
Yes.
And maybe let's say you're not a shoe aficionado. Say you know the basics of shoes, but you want advice as to what shoe you should get. So this service operator connects you to people that have that information, that have that sophistication to tell you, to consult for you. Hey, this is the shoe you need. This is where you can buy it. This is how much it's going to cost. And you be like, yo, that's the one I want. They'll show you a picture. So once you say I want it, then they'll actually that network of people that have that information will buy it for you, and then essentially they'll buy it for you using your credit card, and then it will be shipped to you. And so it's anything from shoes to food to sound equipment to anything,
But
A to Z.
Isn't there is there like a more curation process? What if I don't know it? If I'm like, I kind of want these Air Force Ones, but I don't know what Air Force One is. Tell me about it.
That person will recommend, and that person will give you the information about it.
Right.
He'll tell you, or he or she will tell you, this is what this product is. This is why it's the best product out. It fits what you need. This is how much it costs. This is where you can get it. Do you want to buy it? Boom.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and then, but what about there's also an option for the folks who don't necessarily want, who want their own experience, who want some people want a personalized shopper experience. Some people want like just the to go in like sort of the e-commerce experience. You can
Right.
have that option as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty much bridging those two scenarios. Like you still have the human interaction, but you also have the choice, and you also have the freedom to you have the choice to have an array of choices essentially.
All right. And how do you feel about this situation?
I mean, I think that we're in a state where we're in an on-demand economy. So I mean, Uber is the prime example of that. So much that Uber has become a word in our lexicon, like Google or like So like when you say, is it the Uber of something? Like
Right.
we make references to Uber when it's something else. So I think it's interesting that these on-demand services are kind of like bringing the common person luxuries that were only offered to rich people.
Yeah.
And I think that's just an interesting place that we're in. Like before, maybe in the 80s, like you couldn't have a chauffeur or you couldn't have a chef or a maid, or those are luxuries that were only afforded to upper middle class
and up.
You know what I'm saying? Now anyone can have that.
Right.
Anyone can have a chauffeur. We could call us a black car right now.
Right now.
You know what I'm saying? We could call a maid right now to mop and clean the house right now.
Right.
So I think that's just awesome that we're in that space that
good take.
Services are offered to anyone.
I like that. And I also like the take of like the idea of operator also wants to have that. You know, they want to be Google it, or they want to be the Q-tip or the Band-Aid or the Kleenex, where you know the brand replaces the actual item. So Uber it. I mean, even Lyft is doing its best, but you know, we're always Ubering somewhere. Yeah. Like you know, and so that's in a very short amount of time. Uber's become the thing, even over Lyft and over everything else. And so maybe operator will be that. Like I need an operator. You know, like that'll be So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
And then I'll also say I think. I don't know. I'll ask you. Do you think that brick and mortar stores will continue to phase out? And I mean like the corporate ones, or even small businesses, mom and pops. Do you think they'll phase out?
I wonder about this. I mean, we've been asking this question since the first big, brick and mortar phase out was the record stores.
Yep.
And then it was a thing where like, because I grew up in the era of like going to the record store, flipping through records every Tuesday, buying albums. So that whole experience, going to the weird guy who knows everything and like, you're gonna buy this weird import. Mm-hmm. Like that's part of the whole experience. That doesn't exist anymore, right? No. So but
see that thing you just described is exactly what this app is going to do.
Right.
Same thing, but you just don't have to go in the store and do it. But go ahead.
But that's part of it. So my point is, I thought that like, technology. I was worried about it then, and then I thought Best Buy blew up. And then the next big wave was Blockbusters went away.
Right.
And so I think there's still room. And then the next big wave was at the same time was all the bookstores went away. I mean, Barnes and Nobles is still kind of hanging on with the Borders, and all those guys went away.
Well,
so
all media stuff has been hit hard.
Right.
But what about like furniture or let's or like clothing?
People still want to go in and try on clothes.
Okay.
People are not going to want to not go in and try something on, sit in the mirror, have a stack of clothes. People aren't going to want to go sit on that couch, bounce on that bed.
What about groceries?
People aren't going to want to squeeze a melon, so to speak.
They aren't, or they will.
People are still going to want to go in, and like people, whether it's going down to I don't know if people will want to go down to the farmer's market and the corner bodega to do it, but I don't know if people are going to want to go to the giant, Costco and still go do that. I mean, if you can get that delivered directly to your house, I think the bulk situation may change. The Costco's of the world, that's something I see switching to online.
Of course,
Costco's the bulk stuff, but actually going down to the local bodega or going down to the farmer's market and
you want to have the feel. You want to have the
I don't
sensory.
know. I think most of retail is still intact because people want to go down and look at something and feel something and know something and not, unless they can figure out a way to replace that online. You can't look at an engagement ring for your fiance online and be like, "That's cool." You want to see that.
I feel that we'll have the virtual reality or the. A few weeks ago, not virtual reality, but the augmented reality, where we could have holographic content sent to us. So you actually could see what that ring is like. And it could
be on your finger.
Exactly.
In real time.
I foresee that happening. So, and my take on that in terms of brick and mortar versus online, obviously most sales are still done in brick and mortar, but I feel that there's going to be way more closures as we proceed down this technological road.
I agree. We'll see who's start. What I mean, this is another philosophical question, but like, what's going to survive? I mean, obviously, restaurants will survive. Food places will survive.
Anything experiential will survive.
Do you think clothing will survive?
I think so.
What's going to happen to malls? I
mean, who knows? Who knows, man?
I mean, so much of that is a social experience of the marketplace.
I don't know. When
experience
you say clothes,
of walking through.
When I look at these young guys now, like most of the well, at least with streetwear industry, most of these dudes, they might have their own like flagship store, but they're selling most of the stuff online. People aren't going into the store.
And there's plenty of couture guys who like have a bunch of online businesses. They'll tailor your suit, give me your measurements. We'll have a guy we can measure you up. You'll send you a suit. Those people have those boxes of clothes that like with full outfits.
For sure.
Dollar Shave Club to shave your joints up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey.
Who knows? All right, so move forward.
see.
Let's go back. Let's go into Coachella briefly. Yeah, Coachella, man, 2015. It happened.
But let me ask you, man. Let me ask you,
Yes.
like, give the audience your take, man. Like I know, you experienced it last year.
Yes.
So let's juxtapose. Was this a better year this year, or did you have a better time last year?
I had a way better time last year.
So explain why.
And I think it's personal. I think it's just a lineup situation. I think that the lineup for me personally, Joe Bradswell, I there's way more bands that I love to see that I wanted to see. I mean, throughout
Right.
the day, way more DJs I enjoyed in the Yuma tent. Way more DJs I enjoyed in the Sahara tent. The headliners I all loved. The sub headliners I loved. And so
Musically, last year was better.
musically, it was better. I would say this, Coachella is just never ceases to amaze me how freaking organized that thing is.
For sure.
It is. I mean, the Coachella myths are that it's people who haven't been to Coachella or don't know Coachella. They think of it as like, sort of like another Burning Man.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate, like the full myth. Like,
Right.
I'll go out to Coachella and everyone's camping and everyone's in the mud. It's dusty and I'm not going to be out there with a bunch of dusty kids in the mud. It's nothing like that. Like
Of
there's
course.
so many. There are like luxury experiences at Coachella.
Absolutely.
There's a full like fine dining experience at Coachella that you can get for $60 a person.
For sure.
There are the VIP. There's 2 giant VIP areas that probably hold, I don't know, about 3,000 people each.
Right.
It's really organized.
Run me this. So what about Coachella in the technological sense? Like I think you had to take when we were talking offline that they were really sophisticated with the app, right? You were
Yeah.
able to- so kind of talk about that.
Coachella's done a fantastic job on the technology standpoint. I mean, first of all, this is some numbers that are staggering. Coachella did both weekends. Will do. I think they did about. I think the number is. What's that number? I think the number is.
You talking about attendance?
Yeah, attendance. It's 575,000 people for both weekends.
Right.
So that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
almost 300,000 people a weekend.
Yeah.
That's almost 300,000 people one thing. Every time when you go to Coachella, every person that goes to Coachella gets a wristband.
Yep.
Every single wristband, and it comes in a wonderful package that you have to open up and really feel I win.
Experience.
It's experience. But when you put on your wristband, it's an RF sensor. Every single person has one.
Yeah.
There's not a thing you do in Coachella when you walk in. It's a mile, about a mile, like half a mile to mile walk usually from your car to getting in.
Not unless you VIP.
Even if the VIP is a half a mile. Okay. But when you walk, you scan your bracelet, you scan your arm, everywhere you go, beep, 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 you're scanning. They know exactly who's coming in, when they're coming.
So kind of like how Facebook does.
Shut up. You scan when you go in, you scan when you leave. You scan when you enter VIP, you scan when you go to the porta potty, beep, you scan. No, I'm kidding. No, but like so they have the numbers that they have are insane, number one. But number two, what that does is that RF bracelet is actually uniquely registered to your app.
Your genetic code.
I mean, like you plug in the code into your app and you register. So the app knows what your lineup is,
where you are,
what you're doing, where you are, what's cracking, and it's really remarkable. Not only for you as a user experience, because you know what your schedule is, what's happening, where you are in relationship, like where your car, like all this stuff. They've done these great things, but for the organizers, they have metadata,
Of course.
on that festival.
Of course, and they'll use that data for the next year and how they're going to curate that experience, and it's going to get better and better, and more. The nuances are going to get even. The nuances are going to be even stronger.
The festival was probably 30% better organized this year than it was last year.
But in a way, it has to be.
They tripled the charging stations.
Yeah.
They added
But
double beer gardens.
I mean, don't throw that one out like that's a good thing. I've heard many people say the charging stations. Yeah, there's more of them, but they're still very slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
Yeah.
Like, so, okay.
Super slow, but still, there's more of them. But they also added more. But the viewing is better on the 2 larger stages. They added a second beer garden in the middle. They added another whole bathroom section.
Yeah.
They added so many things. They added a second VIP area.
Except for a good musical lineup.
The music lineup was solid. I mean, it was fine. AC, I will say, without going through anything, just the headliners. Jack White was great. AC/DC was amazing to me. I mean, to be 67 and 64 to come out.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Never mind.
No, AC/DC. But I will say this: AC/DC from the first chord. Bam! I got you. I'm not listening to you. From the first chord, bam! Just shut the whole game down. It was
You say you shed a tear when Drake came on.
I did. I that's it. My Drake review. I saw Drake weekend 2. I missed him in weekend 1. Weekend 1 had
Madonna.
a lot of bad reviews, like in terms of performances. He really got killed in the reviews.
He got killed on both weekends.
Okay, because weekend 2, I hear was a lot better, and I was there for weekend 2, and I thought it was good, but it was still not he sounded great. He has a catalog. He's Drake, but he didn't give anyone the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a forest set up. He sang one song in the forest.
In the forest.
Like in the trees, he sang one song.
Drake in the forest.
He ended the thing with them raining in the forest.
I read an article
terrible.
saying that, he arguably is one of the worst performers that Coachella has ever had.
Wow, yeah.
That's pretty strong.
That's pretty strong.
Was it that bad, though?
Well, one of the worst headliners. Now.
Yeah.
Because headliners.
Okay, of course.
Because when you headline...
They're saying that he's not ready.
He's not ready for it. He wasn't ready for that. Because when you're headlining, think about this. You're headlining, you're in front of like 50,000 people.
But he's done that. Well, maybe not 50. He's done the arena tour for sure. He just did an arena tour that sold out.
An arena tour is like
20, 30.
20.
Okay.
Like 30 where?
You're right.
It's
You're
like,
right.
so maybe 20 is maxing out. It's really more like between 15 and 20. This is 50 plus. This is like, this is big time.
I will say, based on his catalog, based on his records, his hits, like he should have been able to execute. And so it says a lot.
Sure.
It says a lot about him as a respectable artist that he did not execute in terms of his showmanship, in terms of his presentation.
I feel like my thing is, and we can move on because I don't want to go like 40 minutes on Drake, but like I feel like he executed wonderfully. I feel like he sounded good. He was sounded great. I think he was up there by himself for about 55, 65 minutes, which is a hard to do. Literally by himself. Nicki Minaj came out, briefly. Madonna came out briefly weekend 1.
Right.
But it's hard to do. Like he did everything right, but it still wasn't enough. That's the problem.
Hey.
Like he sang every hit, the crowd waved their hands, they jumped, they sang, girls took off their tops, like the whole thing happened. But it still wasn't enough.
He doesn't have the star wattage yet, or maybe not ever.
When you follow guys like AC/DC who played for 2 hours straight in their 60s and just like kill the game, or Jack White who plays for like hour or something plus and just got hits, hitting multiple genres, going blues and roots rock and White Stripes and and then Drake comes out and like how
does he do? Wait, what happened?
I don't know. I missed it. Drake was cool though. All right. Anyway, so that's good. Coachella was great. A highlight for me though, Run the Jewels highlights. I know you don't like you want to hear that. Run the Jewels was on point.
We're gonna run to the next topic.
Run the Jewels was on point. Jungle was on point. Steely Dan. Florence and the Machine. Yes, it was great. Are you gonna go?
I do it.
All right. Keep it moving.
No. I'm gonna keep it moving, dog.
10 more things to go. I got 10 more points.
Are we able to pause out?
No, that's good. No, we'll wrap up.
Man.
All right. So, that's Coachella.
I'm sorry, man. Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels. Anyway, so that's Coachella. Really quickly, Jay-Z Beyonce album coming to title. You don't care?
No, I do care. I care about the album. Title is a wash. Like I said, I was right. Give me my credit. Give me my credit, bro. It's lost so much traction since the release, this big launch.
Yes,
like it's not even in the top 700. It's not even the top 700 of apps.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Terrible. I agree. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But we will see. We're gonna skip Tribeca because there's too much to talk about there.
Cool.
We'll also skip Galaxy Quest becoming a TV series. Although I love the movie Galaxy Quest, I'm very interested in seeing the TV series and see what they do with it. I do love that. Love that movie. But I do want to talk briefly about Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah,
it was wonderful in Anaheim.
Absolutely.
I did not go, which drives me nuts.
Man,
but,
don't use that word right
now.
now.
Which drives me crazy. But the new Star Wars trailer did premiere. What do you think of that?
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One word.
The new Star Wars trailer was fantastic. The appearance of Han Solo and Chewie at the end was great.
Yeah, that was dope.
J.J. Abrams did send some pizza out to the people waiting in line overnight, which is a classy touch.
Yep.
Everyone came out except for Harrison Ford, who's recovering from his plane crash.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff coming out of Star Wars Celebration. A lot of friends there. A lot of the 501st Legion, my boys, the Stormtrooper guys were there. So,
brothers.
Good for that. I'm going to spare you. I got 10 more topics.
Man,
I'm going to spare you. I think that's it for us.
Yeah, man.
And then we'll sprint to the finish.
Absolutely.
Next week we will get into we're summer movie time.
Man.
We're in some summer movies. So next week we'll start to get it. The Avengers. We got the Avengers launching. So we'll get into that next week. Where can the people find you?
You can find me. You can find me at the bathroom.
Really? Is that? He's wrapped. Achilles Shine leaves the building. I get it. That's funny. You can find Achilles Shine at Achilles Shine on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me, Joe Braswell, at Joe K. Braswell on Instagram and Twitter. And that was it. Achilles Shine left us. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals. From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.